Way number one is actually one of my favorites. Not my number one favorite, but number one is one of my favorites. And that's interviews. This can actually work for fiction. You can interview fiction authors that are in related genres to yours or your exact genre and draw more attention to them, their books. And by doing that, you're aligning yourself with them. And you're also bringing more attention to your own books. And it also works great for nonfiction, where you can take any topic and interview people and turn it into a Kindle book. So step one is interview an expert for nonfiction, or interview a fellow author for fiction. Record it. You can use, I'm going to get to the tools in a minute actually. There's a couple different tools you can use. I'll give you the ones that I recommend. But you want to get it transcribed. You want somebody to write it down and then lightly edit. And by lightly edit, I mean you don't have to re-edit an interview by scratch. An interview, like if you've ever read an interview in a magazine, it's like magazine name asks a question and then person being interviewed, interviewee, answers it. So it's like he said, she said, he said, she said, he said, she answered, yada, yada. It goes on through the whole thing. The way that the brain works, and I'm definitely going to touch on brain science even more a little later, because there's one particular way in here where brain science is extremely important to not turn your readers off. But the way that brain science works is if you present it as this was originally a spoken conversation between two people, like a he said, she said, he said, she said kind of thing, and you actually have your names there back and forth, which most transcriptionists will transcribe it like that anyway, so you don't have to do much in the way of editing. It's already done for you. You're going to talk to your reader in a way that the reader says, okay, I'm reading a conversation between two people and they can understand it. If you don't do that and you just have question, answer, and it's obviously a conversation to you, but it may not be to the reader because you didn't tell them that. You didn't tell them this was originally an audio. Their brain has a switch that doesn't switch. It doesn't fire. And so it gets very confusing to them. And they're like, wait, this doesn't make any sense. Our brains interpret audio differently than they interpret the written word from scratch. So you want to make sure that if you're doing an interview style book, it doesn't matter so much. But with another book type I'm going to teach you later, it does matter a lot. So lightly edit just means make sure your names are spelled right. And believe it or not, that happens. Make sure that websites are spelled right. If you talk about website resources, places are spelled right, and so on. And then that's it. Publish it. The tools that you need for this are some sort of recording software. I personally recommend that you use something like freeconferencecalling.com. That's freeconferencecalling.com. It's free. Or you use Skype and record it. There's a couple different plugins you can use for Skype. There's one for Mac and one for PC. You'll need to Google that. They change so frequently. I don't know what the latest ones are. Pamela was the last one I heard from, but I'm pretty sure that's just for PC. Or you can do what I do, and if you have a screen capture recording software like ScreenFlow or Camtasia, you can use that to record the audio as well. So freeconferencecalling.com though is perfect. You usually, unless you're, the reason I mentioned Skype is because if you're overseas, if you're not in your local area. But freeconferencecalling.com and freeconferencecall.com, that's another one. That one actually has a way that you can have local numbers from where you're at, where they can call in. And it's a conference line. They call in, you give them an access code, they access code it, and you follow the instructions on the conference call system that they'll email you when you sign up for it, and they'll email you to record it. And then you download the recording, and it's all free. I mean, doesn't get much better than that, right? You need some sort of device. If you don't have a microphone, at least a built-in microphone on your computer, or if you're using your phone, I mean, obviously you have a recording device there. But if you're using Skype or some sort of a video conferencing system on your computer, you need to have a microphone that's going to record your voice clear enough that the transcriptionist can figure it out. Okay, you want the transcriptionist to be able to transcribe it accurately. But if you're using your phone, there's your recording device. Done. And the big benefit to this way is Ninja SEO. SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. SEO is how Google finds you. Okay? It's just as simple as that. Google and Amazon. Google and Amazon are sitting in a tree. KIS. No, seriously. They love each other. They are so in love with each other. Google puts Amazon at the top of the list. If there's a book that answers someone's question when they're typing it in, it's going to be at the very top. It doesn't matter how much work people have done on their websites to make their Google rankings better. It doesn't matter how many blog posts they have. If you have an interview with someone in your field, in your niche, or in your writing genre that you have transcribed and put into a book form, and someone else out there is searching that author's name, your book with your name on it and theirs, because you'll put their name as a co-author, will show up first on Google. All right, now let me answer this question because I get this all the time. We're dealing with another author here, right? Another person who's going to be a co-author of this book. You don't share royalties in this type of book. Believe me, it's like a nightmare to track that stuff. You don't want to do that. What the author or the co-author, the person you're interviewing, gets out of this is free advertising. They're getting advertising for their book, for their business, for whatever it is that they're doing. They're getting free advertising, free promotion, and so on. You don't ask for money from them to help with creating the book cover or any of that. You take care of all that yourself, and they get the advertising. And then every book that you sell, you get to keep the money, which is awesome, because the more of these you do, the more that those other people are going to promote it, the more that Google is going to find you, because your name is on once again, a series. So it's more than just one of these books. You're going to have at least 5 or 6 of these books in your series, I hope. These are so easy. I mean, you can do the recording in an hour, send it to a transcriptionist, and have it turned around within a couple days max, and put it up on Kindle. I mean, it's really not that hard. And so you can crank these puppies out even one a week if you want to, or a couple of them a week if you're really ambitious and have the time. But Ninja SEO is definitely the absolute biggest benefit to an interview style book.